Now, take your kid to work day.
You didn't know it was supposed to take your kid to work day, did you?
That's today?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mice in the Attic. I am your host, Alex Carle, and this is the show where we introduce you to new and up-and-coming musicians by streaming their performances live from the attic of Tonal Vision Studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. As always, I encourage you to like and share this video. That helps us out. And please feel free to comment and ask questions in the comment section below, and I'll get them over to the artist today. Today we have Conor and the Wild Hunt, a progressive indie folk band who are about to release a brand new single. Why don't you come on in? Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Howdy.
How's it going?
I've got to
Well, hey, everybody.
watch out for Penny.
Uh-oh, Penny the Great and Terrible.
Oh no.
All right, well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, so why don't you guys introduce yourselves to everybody at home and tell us a little bit about this first song you're going to play.
So we are Conor and the Wild Hunt. I'm Chris.
I'm Lena.
I'm Mike.
I'm Conor. Yeah. And the song is called No Plateau, and I started writing it from travels in Greece, and then like bringing it into a relationship
Greece.
metaphor.
Oh.
And I could go on for a very long time. I'm not going to. We're gonna play the song instead.
Well, let the song speak for you. Everybody enjoy No Plateau by Conor and the Wild Hunt.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
In the golden hour, the wildflowers rise into the summer air to catch the tears from her misty eyes that gaze upon the open skies. No plateau when the mountain peaks reach for the stars. Oh my dear, don't you fear, I will be your solid ground.
Lay down your load. This is our home. We write our story here and now. No plateau. The mountain peaks reach for the stars. No plateau. The horizon stretches wide and far.
Oh darling, the mountain calls us high, like the starlet. We spread our wings and fly.
fantastic. That was beautiful. Some lovely harmonies in there, and I love what you're doing with the guitar. That's fantastic stuff. So I understand that you've got this new single coming out on Saturday.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
It's a song that's really near and dear to my heart, and won't get too much into the story, but like someone who I was in love with for a very long time had a child and was like getting out of a really bad situation. And my first thought was like, how can I help? And I wrote this and recorded it within like 48 hours of finding out that she was pregnant.
Oh wow!
And,
It all just came at
and
once.
that she was like moving south. And yeah, so that all kind of happened in a brief moment.
Yeah.
And that's coming out on Saturday.
The 27th.
Yeah,
27th.
April 27th.
Yes.
April 27th. On all platforms.
All platforms.
Yes.
Everything.
And I understand that that will be just one song of a larger album that you're
Yeah.
putting together right now that will be released this summer.
Yes.
So what can you tell me about that album? When can we expect it? How many tracks can we expect?
It's all done.
Wow.
And we're in the we're in the shopping stage
Oh,
of
cool.
it.
By shopping
By,
stage.
by
you mean-
shopping, we mean we are sending it to a lot of different record labels right now and seeing if anyone bites.
Oh, that's exciting.
And it's a 14-track album, and then
Ready
we
to
have-
go. We're ready
Yeah,
to go.
ready.
Well,
Finally.
congratulations. I hope that's not too premature to say, but congratulations on your new album. That's really fantastic.
And we have a second album. that
Yes.
We're like like a third.
We
through
play all
recording.
the songs
Yeah.
normally. It's just
Yeah.
not recorded yet, but basically we just have this one ready to go, and then we know we have, if something happens with this first album or not, we're going to record the second one.
Well, that's
regardless.
fantastic.
ASAP,
Yeah, so today we have
It's
a
like a third
combination
album.
of about a couple songs from our upcoming album right now, a couple songs from our next album, so.
No, three. Three from our new album.
Oh, sorry, yes.
One.
Sorry.
One from the
One-
next
yeah.
one.
And what was that last one?
That is going to be the one that is not going to be on the album. So
That's
the
the
next
title
three-
track of the
Okay.
next record.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the rest of these songs will be on.
Yes.
On the upcoming
next-
album.
Oh, that is
yes.
so exciting, guys. Well, that's really awesome. So what can you tell me about this next song that you're about to play?
I wrote this song after a friend of mine died of a heroin overdose, and it's just kind of about the overall opioid epidemic, and a lot that goes into that.
Well, speaking from a stage in Baltimore, that's obviously very relevant. So thank you for speaking on it. What's the name of the title of the tune?
Lord, get me out of this town.
Okay. Well, everybody enjoyed "Lord, Get Me Out of This Town."
Volume.
One, two. My friend George died the other day. I was with him hours before. Now his lips are blue and gray. I'm afraid if this don't stop, there won't be no one left to say, oh Lord, get me out of this. In this old town, folks are dying every day. Don't know how so many people find the needle in the hay. The sky is gloomy, them zombies in a haze. Oh Lord, get me out of this town. Roots on the ground in Afghanistan, keeping them poppies growing on the land. Boats and planes and death dealers' hands. Oh Lord, get me out of this. Bloody two-tines way at the top, prescribing addiction through lobbyists and doctors. And when that well of pills runs dry, patients trading for needles, tickets to die. Oh Lord, get me out of this town. And they're ghostly on the corners, trying to get a fix, looking pale in their faces, aching and bewitched. Shady figures, turning tails and tricks. Oh Lord, get me out of this.
Get me out.
Wow, what a drive behind that song. The whole time, I just felt it like pushing me forward. So I want to talk a little bit about the motivation and inspiration for your songs. I know that you are very involved as an activist in multiple different causes, and I want to know, how does activism affect your music, and then in turn, how does your music affect the different causes in which you're involved?
So in terms of the activism, one of the things that I speak about a lot is there was this movement that happened at Standing Rock, North Dakota, and there was this oil pump company that was pushing a pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline through Lakota land.
Keystone.
No,
Was
that's
it Keystone?
Trump brought that back too.
Ah,
It's a
okay,
different
okay,
thing.
gotcha.
Oh,
His
okay.
first
I
day
thought
in
that was the
office
same
brought
thing.
back 2 pipelines through native land. Yeah. So there were over 400 Native nations represented who were coming through and like occupying this land and trying to prevent this pipeline from being built. And I think I'm just really focused on kind of moving forward towards more sustainable energy, moving forward and not stealing further native land. And things like a lot of our music kind of has female main characters, like
From your point of view.
from
yeah,
from
yeah.
my point of view, and trying to, I don't know.
So is that in an effort to create a more empowered female character in
Yeah.
the realm of music?
Yes.
That's a big drive
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, and when I think about it, a lot of sometimes I hear a lot of things on the radio that feel like a lot of toxic relationships being like normalized,
Sure.
and a lot of abusive behavior being normalized. And sometimes I want to see just a little bit more love and just a little bit more kindness,
Something a little more healthy.
a little more healthy.
You also
and
you didn't mention that you were at
Yes, I was at Standing Rock for
Yeah.
about a month and a half, and there was crazy things happening. Like, there were different points we were setting up in the direct path of the pipeline, and there were like helicopters flying in circles above us. And at one point, someone was kidnapped from that camp while I was there. And a day after, I had to leave because my car was in an airport in California stacking up
Oh, geez.
Tickets.
The police raided that camp and were dragging elders out of Sweat Lodge and just like shooting people with like rubber bullets and just really strong mace, and were later on in the night spraying them with water cannons in sub-freezing temperatures. So I tend to think we shouldn't be doing that kind of thing to people.
Agreed.
Well, and I understand that as a band, you try to use your music as a means of creating that social change. So what is your philosophy in terms of music and its relationship to those types of changes?
I think it's starting conversations and kind of bringing subjects to people's minds,
Awareness.
awareness to people's minds, and yeah.
Well, it's fantastic because, not everybody sees music as a means to a higher end. For some, it's just the end, and that's fine. No hate on that, I suppose, but I think it's really great that you guys are actually using this gift that you have as a tool to be able to
And I mean,
help
at our
people.
core, we're musicians. This is just, it's ancillary, but it's important. But at the same time, like, we love reaching people with our music. I mean, when people come up to us, like, after a show and like, oh my God, like, that resonated with me, not just so that it sounded good, but the lyrics are good,
They feel them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, one of the things that I've been inspired by the lyrics of our songs most is, you try and relate them to, you're not just your own life, but any scenario out there in the world. And I feel like, well, Conor and his words do a pretty good job at speaking to people. Spoken to us, so.
Well, I'll let you continue to speak with it. Why don't you tell us about this next song that you're going to be playing?
So this is Freight Train.
This is a happier song.
It is a happy
happy
song.
About trains.
Yeah, about freight trains.
Freight train.
I wrote this around the time that I hopped freight trains for a little bit and almost died at one point, and I didn't, so I'm here. And now we're singing happy songs about.
Well, I'm glad.
Oh my God.
I don't think you'd be
What a
singing
way to put
many
it.
sad songs had you died either. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, everybody enjoy Freight Train.
is a song that we're gonna have the pleasure of hearing Conor on his harmonica as well.
Yeah, don't forget that.
And Mike has transformed to a banjo.
Newly.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
fantastic. Thank you. Lift your spirits right up.
I know, right?
Glad you survived the incident to be able to tell us about it, and for other reasons, but it's a nice song.
Mostly that one.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
tell me a little bit about the band's history. What are your respective music backgrounds, and how did you all get together? How did Conor become Conor and the Wild Hunt?
So I started, I think when I was born.
Same.
Good answer.
The whole like music on headphones on your belly thing. I was learning violin at 3 years old, and I think I was 6 years old when I was singing No Nobis Domine from Henry V for 300 people in a play.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I guess that's my path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no
I guess
kidding.
this makes sense. And I was like writing songs at 12 and had probably an album written by like age 13. And I just kind of, I would say I always knew. I used to want to be a film director, so I didn't always know. But once I was...
Your parents, you've been around music your whole
That's
life.
true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, you had
Yeah. So all of my family is musical. My mom had her own band.
Okay.
And she was pretty popular in the 80s. And my dad is a recording engineer. So
Okay.
I kind of grew up as a studio rat.
You were always going to be in music.
I was always going to be in music.
Yeah,
and-
but I mean, in terms of all of us, you've been playing since you were young.
Yeah.
I've been playing since I
Yeah.
was 5. Mike's been playing.
Since 12, I think.
Yeah, but in terms of like how the band got together, I was going to school in Baltimore at Towson, and I had a friend who said, "Hey, I know a singer-songwriter in Baltimore. Would you like to come try out for him?" I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I go to Conor's house and try out. The drums was fine. You were like, that's great, but then you asked me to sing something.
I was like, all right, you're in.
You can sing harmonies
like
too, yeah.
Come for the drums, stay for the vocals.
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean, in terms of like, that was about October 2017, but since then, this is a newly formed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The final solidification of it is kind of newly formed.
I'm definitely the
Yeah.
newest out of us all.
Yeah.
I found him because I was actually at Omega Recording Studio where Conor's dad works, and recording with a fellow friend of mine, and his dad just kind of came out to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to meet my son." And I was like, "Okay." So I drove to some random place in College Park I'd never been to. We sang together for about 15 minutes in some random hallway.
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah,
15 minutes is all it
but
took
no,
to know.
the craziest thing is, like, later on, like, a couple months went by, both of our parents had came to, like, a show to, like, see us perform. Like, one of the first times his parents were seeing me in, my parents seeing us all together, and we found out that my dad, who also is a lifetime musician, has performed his whole life as well, performed with his mom back in the day. So
Oh,
they've known
weird.
each other, and they were like,
Huh.
"Oh my God, our kids are in a band."
Now, was that
Like-
in Maryland that
Yeah.
they were performing
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a
So
strange
I just think that's the
coincidence.
craziest thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
I know. It's wild.
Wow.
And then what's your story?
Played bass since I was 12, guitar since I was 12 and a half. And
Yeah.
then
Mike and I have been
Yeah.
like really close we went to
Yeah.
school together since we were little tykes, and we needed a bass player, and I was like, dude, I know a bass player. And we called up Mike, and that was last June. So
Nice.
Now
Well, a lot
now
has been
look at it.
accomplished since
Yeah.
then, yeah.
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 Oh, that's
trying to
really
figure out our
nice.
sound, trying to get how we could get the most sound out of us four.
Yeah.
Has been like our focus for the past few months.
Well, I can tell you guys are killing it
Yeah.
from out
Thank
there.
And I've had iterations of this band for the past like 8 years, but this is by far the best it has ever been, and I love these people dearly.
Thank you.
And
Aw,
we're in
love
it
you
for the
too.
long haul. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And you are all touring together
Yes.
right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Do you have any like particularly special moments from tour that you can think of?
There's
Or
so many.
Any places
many.
maybe that
So many.
stand out?
I think my favorite thing is just like the kindness. There's so much kindness that we find on the road.
Yeah.
And people are being so generous all the
So
time.
willing to
Oh my
help.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just want to.
Yeah,
You know?
I think it's more of an empathy thing,
Yeah.
within the music community. Like, people understand they've been,
Yeah.
you're going to be in tough places when you're on the road and stuff, and I think
Yeah.
people genuinely have been really understanding with that when we're on the road, and have just been generous because of that. Like, when we were up in New York last summer, and we were playing a festival in like Harpersville, New York or something, and we met a woman who came up to us after our show, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, I love you guys, like, I've come to all your sets this weekend." We're just like, thank you, and we told her we're in the middle of a tour, whatever, blah blah blah, and we're gonna be up in
Brooklyn?
Vermont.
We're gonna be in
Yeah, we were gonna be in
upstate
Vermont, and
New
she's
York.
like, "I have a lake house, like, right in the Finger Lakes or
nice.
something," and we're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." She's like, "You guys should come stay," and we were like, "Well, we need a place to stay, so we will be there," and she let us stay there for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Fed us.
Oh wow.
Something
Yeah,
as
I mean,
simple
it's
as
just
people
the
putting
nicest-
us up. Like,
Nicest thing. Yeah. like,
Yeah. The-
I don't like to think about, because there's gonna be negatives of touring. I don't
Yeah.
like to think of those as much, although it kind of helps to know like where you came from.
Sure.
But the stuff that sticks out is how nice people are.
The little
On the road,
things
yeah.
really make a difference.
I think one of my favorite stories was actually at that lake house. And we went out on this boat. We were like, we're gonna like take a ride out to this waterfall. I was like, oh, we got a couple hours. It's fine. Before we had to leave, so we rode all the way across this very long.
We
lake.
rode. Yeah, not road. We literally us three were rowing across the entirety of the lake, like this channel, and we go over whatever. We're checking out this waterfall, like looking at our watches, like, oh, dude, that took like 40 minutes, you know? And like we're all gassed.
And we were about to be late.
Yeah.
We were about to be late. So we like rode for a while, and then we saw like a big like a motorboat. It's like, can we tie up to you? And the
They got towed back. It's before my time, but I've heard stories.
They tied our boat to their boat and like
that's
dragged us
great.
across.
We made it
the
to the
gig, and we
gigs.
made it to the gig in
That was
time.
gonna be my
I think
next
it was July.
question.
I think it was July 4th.
July 4th.
So yeah, we were worried about.
And my next question
Oh my
about
gosh.
that is how bad did your hands hurt trying to play that
Dude,
gig
oh my
after
god.
rowing that
Yeah.
much?
Seriously, we were
can
gassed.
only
Man. I'm
imagine.
serious. We were very tired.
I mean, I'm picturing you like dropping the drumsticks.
Yeah, right.
With some numb
I think it was
hands,
it was like a 3-hour night too.
Oh no.
It was
Yeah,
long.
it was a long night. But we're here.
But you made it to the show, and you got your. Did you see the waterfall?
Yeah,
We
it
did.
was beautiful.
Good.
Such a beautiful place.
We
So
did.
many so many butterflies
You said you were up at the Finger Lakes, up
Where?
around the
Finger Lakes, yeah.
around that area.
I think so.
Actually, no. It was like it was right across the water from Vermont.
Okay.
It was like a ferry.
Fact check us on that.
Yeah,
one.
it was a ferry across the water.
I don't think anybody's looking at a
Yeah,
map
right.
now.
I wonder if they were actually there.
Played there.
Well, here's some more touring experiences. I hope that you guys
Yeah.
get.
This one's a close one though. We live around here, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I hope that the generosity keeps flowing for you.
We do have a Midwest tour coming up in June.
We're going out to
So that's
all the
gonna
way to
be-
North Dakota.
yeah.
I believe we're gonna be up in Canada later.
We've got some
in,
shows in
summer.
Minneapolis, I believe Chicago,
Wisconsin, yeah, all three.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Will it be your first time
Heading
playing
out
in that
there.
area, or have you been there
Yes.
before?
I have been there before, but like
Playing as a band
Yeah,
will be our
as a
first
band
time.
will be
With
our
this
first time,
group,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Well, I think we have about time for one more song.
Cool.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
So I started writing this song busking in Philadelphia, and
Busking is playing.
playing music
Yes.
for money on the
Some people
street.
might
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it was just like feeling invisible. Like at the time, I'd been traveling for a while, and I just felt like no one was seeing me, and I was just like feeling that a lot of people felt this all the time, and that was kind of hard. And then I finished writing it in the mountains in Colorado, and it's kind of just about how the people who give help are often the people who don't ask for and therefore don't receive help. So it's just about supporting each other.
Interesting.
And it's called You're Not Alone.
You're Not Alone.
And it's on the coming record.
Oh, this is,
Yes, it
this is an
is.
upcoming one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, everybody, enjoy You're Not Alone from the upcoming Conor and the Wild Hunt album. Do we have a title for that album yet?
I believe it is called Conor the Wild Hunt.
Oh, very exciting.
Self-titled.
Self-titled.
That's a big move.
I know. Maybe we'll change our mind, but
Yeah, we've got
Well-
a couple ideas floating.
Well, I'm sure you guys will feel more encouraged than ever by the time it comes out. I
Yeah.
bet it's going to be all right.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, enjoy You Are Not Alone.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've been a ghost among these streamlined streets, jumping and waving my arms, but no one seems to see. In the city, neath a canopy, the sister met my eyes and said to me,
I see you. I hear you. And I'm with you. You're not alone. From cliffs I was looking down valley rocks. My heart was aching, my mind was racing along.
What a fantastic, explosive end to your set. That was amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
wish
you
we
so
had more
much.
time. I'd keep you guys here all evening. But
Hey, maybe next time we
Yeah,
can do a double.
right?
We have enough. So.
all
Exactly.
right. Well, that's right. I mean, you've got, like you said, plenty of songs to show.
Over 80.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100.
There's a
over
lot.
Well,
There are a lot of
Like
options.
300.
100. No, I'm just saying.
going.
We're gonna keep making numbers. Yeah.
Well, I'm incredibly excited for this new single,
Thank you.
which is going to come out on the 27th.
Yeah.
And I'm
This Saturday.
Yes,
This
this
Saturday,
Saturday,
the 27th.
April 27th.
And I'm incredibly excited for the album that will follow. So
Thank you.
great job, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody at home watching before we close up?
Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on
Yes.
Twitter, Instagram. Like
At
us on
Conor
Facebook.
the Wild Hunt.
Conor and the Wild Hunt is spelled C-O-N-O-R.
Yes,
one N.
C-O-N-O-R.
1 N and 2 O's.
And yes.
Yes.
What?
And thanks for watching.
Yeah. And another thing, our single is called "Brokenhearted Lullabies." In
Yes.
case you missed that. So.
Broken-hearted
Lullaby.
lullaby.
You definitely missed it because I didn't sing.
That's very true.
Well, look
You're
out for
welcome.
Brokenhearted Lullabies in 2 days. All right, and everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please join us again in 2 weeks. That's May 9th for a brand new
We love
performance by
you.
the Mudbugs. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, everybody.